Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. This is the start of a new series here on this very channel, as driven by these lovely, lovely people in the virtual Touring Car Cup. My name is Chris Buxton and I will be your commentator throughout this series. Now then, just to explain how the series is going to work, as you can quite clearly see, round number 1 is here at Donington Park. The national version, so they won't have the hairpin to deal with. And any car of the 4 available from the touring car class within Project Cars 2 is what our drivers are going to be tackling. Which was the BMW, the Renault, the Astra and the Mercedes. Now, interestingly, the Mercedes no one went for, which no particular reason why, I don't know why, but there's people not particularly happy with the handling characteristics of that. It's roughly an even split between the BMW and the Megane. A couple of Astras are thrown in there for good measure. So let's see how the series is going to work. This is where we are going to be on Wednesday. So today, as you can see, it is Donington. Next week, it's Hockenheim. So it's not just the British tracks akin to the Club Racing UK Inter-Club Championship that we had, or that finished a couple of weeks ago. And then it's going to be Snetterton, then over to Austria for the Red Bull Ring, then Silverstone, Spa, Brno, and again back to Silverstone to finish the series off. But in the midst of that is a special round. You may have noticed in the video that we'll be running the Silverstone Classic, which is round number 5, in the Mercedes 300 SL. It's going to be great fun when we get there. Can't wait for that. There's going to be a couple of featured drivers that we'll hopefully have some more information on. Also give them a bit of a shout out, just to give a bit of publicity as well to our drivers, Alex Rhodes and Mark Holmes being the 2 selected representatives that are going to get possibly a little bit more airtime. It rather depends how well they do, quite frankly. But we have got 17 drivers ready to go. We aren't yet in qualifying, so we will head down to the grid once the session is underway. This is how the series is going to work. A 15-minute qualifying session is what we are going to start with. That's going to dictate the grid for race number 1. Now, there's going to be 3 15-minute races. And the results from race number 1 would dictate the grid, beg your pardon, for race number 2. And same for results for race 2, dictate the grid for number 3. Now, I think we have had a lobby problem, as everyone seems to be abandoning it at the moment, so I'm going to wait for further information on that. That's that small noise you can hear in the background. So, results from all 3 rounds will determine an overall event standing. So, the in-game championship point system is not what's going to be used. It will still trigger because the game will still want to award points to people, but it's going to be a case of it won't be used. We'll be using our own championship points procedure, which will be decided at the end of the overall event. So once all 3 races are dealt with, bonus point for pole and for overall fastest lap as well. And as I mentioned before, it's any car of the 4 I've mentioned from the touring car class. Thankfully, everyone is rejoining the lobby. So then, whilst we wait for the drivers to get comfortable, get in the correct cars, what have you, we will get this event underway. So until then, let me get the holding music going, as there's not a lot else to talk about at this very point. We'll run through all the drivers once we have gotten underway, etc. So I will be back with you as quickly as I can. Right, ladies and gentlemen, apologies for that delay. There has been a few technical gremlins with getting the lobby underway. There still is, out of the 17 drivers, we have 10 of them at the moment, but qualifying seems to be going underway. So until I am told otherwise, I'm running with it, basically. So then, let's have a look at who we've got with us, and I'm going to keep an eye on the background chat and what have you, and if they decide, wow, Alex Jameson is giving that plenty of beans through the final chicane, and if we do decide to rehost the lobby, then of course I will be acting accordingly. So Alex Jameson is a sim racer who I'm very, very familiar with. I've raced against him and lost against him many, many a time. So welcome to you. A few more drivers joining us. Good to see. Jay Daniels for JDR Racing. Nice. We're getting team names involved in there. From the club racing side. So basically I'll announce them as either sim racers. There's a couple of sim racers in with this. But most people involved in this are club racers, as opposed to sim racers, but there's a mixture of all and sundry going on. Mark Holmes is with us once again for elementary racing. He's gone for the Astro. Oh, I haven't actually said who's going with who. Now there's ghosting going on. That is correct in qualifying. That's not a bug. That is by design. It does look a bit strange when you're staring at them. It just prevents people disrupting who's going on where and what have you during the qualifying session. So Alex Jameson in the BMW. Jay Daniels is in the McGann. Mark Holmes has gone for the Astra, one of the two Astra runners. Chris Callahan. Now, Chris is a name I'm not familiar with, so welcome to you for representing Falcon Racing. He's gone for the McGann as well. Sienna Viper is Adam Davies, who I have raced against before. We did do a test run of this series a couple of weeks ago, and he's running the BMW in the livery that I was running. I do like that car. I'm very biased towards the BMW. Mr. Garside, David Garslide as I called him, is running the McGann. Now the reason why his car is plain white is because he's designing his own livery. After round 3 we will be running hopefully custom liveries on the car. At the moment they are running stock ones. Nobsy is John Nobbs. Oops! He's nearly caught that one. He's a sim racer. I again have raced and lost against John. Very, very talented sim racer. Although you wouldn't think so from that amazing catch that we've just seen. Fair play to you. Scuzzle, otherwise known as Nick Bailey. What's having some difficulty actually, although he's just set the second best time. 1:09.8 is the target time set by Mr. Jameson, but he is absolutely alien quick. It's not we'll ignore his times, but his benchmark will be exceedingly hard to hit. But Nick doing a great job there. 1:11.7, nicely done. Just a few more names, a few more times jumping on the board. Black Sheep is the man responsible for this series. It is Toby Owen for Avalon Motorsports. Simon is Simon Williams, a name I'm not familiar with. Welcome to you. He's the other Astra runner by the look of it. for CK16 Racing. And finally, Ollie Sy in the BMW. He is someone that was with us in the Interclub Championship. Oh, that's actually remarkably easy to do. The BMW is rear-wheel drive, and you catch that apex a little bit too much. Now coming through what is essentially Goddard, and yeah, the BMW will just want to get away from you. That's right on board. Now I did do a hot lap of this Ambition Racing. I like that from Alex Jameson. So here we are on board with our current pole sitter with a 109.8. That is a stonking time in the Beamer. We now climb the hill, heading towards through the corner curves, heading towards through Schwarzkopf, heading towards McLean's. Quite a blind apex there, one, and even the mighty Jameson is getting all out of kilter. Oops, sounds like he had a little bit of a gear slap problem coming through Coppice. It's raining, that's why they're struggling. Now the weather is set to real weather, so what happened on that day, basically. It being Britain, it's going to, or the chances are it's going to be wet. So the times that we've seen are probably not going to improve. Although Simon Williams probably has got room to improve from a 27.4. Keeping an eye on the background chat, it does look like we are running with this lobby, even though we are missing quite a few of our drivers, which is a bit of a shame, but hopefully that will improve. Remember, we have got 3 races this evening, and this qualifying session sets the grid for the first one. Hello to those in chat, good to see everybody along rather. Now then, hello Andrex, my old friend. Default setups? No! That is one point I was going to raise. Unlike the Interclub Championship that we had here finishing up a couple of weeks ago, no, it is open setup. They are allowed to set up the car as they so choose. Although, Alex Jameson was saying he spent a good couple of hours trying to set up the BMW and then went quicker on the default. So, Nick Bailey's jumped up to second with a 1:10.9. That's a cracking time. And he's in one of the front-wheel drive cars as well. Now, when the conditions are wet, that does tend to favour the BMW, but that by no means mean that it's all done and dusted. There is one of the Beamers, we can just see in the background, getting back on track. Wow, that's a lot of spray. That doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be that much water on the ground when we come to the race. Still 5 minutes left of the qualifying session. So we'll see how well that gets on. Unfortunately, one of our that's Adam Davies. Sadly, Alex Rhodes, one of our featured drivers, who I had quite a bit of info on, he's not here. Well, I can't feature him, unfortunately. Hopefully, we'll be able to feature him later. Nick Bailey, second, 1:10.9. Jay Daniels, who I can attest having raced against it. Oh, getting the tail wagging coming through Coppice with the Renault Megane. I don't really expect these times to change a great deal. And Simon did indeed set a better time at a 1:15. It's not really surprising considering how wet it is out there. Oh, there you go. Now in the front wheel drive, you do have at least the luxury of being able to point the nose in the right direction and boot it. Mark Hobbs, a decent effort there, 1:12.1. Did struggle a little bit with some highs and lows in the Interclub Championship. But only finds himself, not even a tenth behind Toby Owen at best. Absolutely brilliant. Look how many people we've got in the 112s. Absolutely brilliant. John Nobbs. Oh, John, you have had an argument with something very, very solid. I have a feeling John did not practice in the wet. Oh, John! Well held, sir, again. We've caught up with you twice in the same spot and you've done the same thing again. But in fairness, the BMW is a steady with your pit lane exit. I mean, the car's ghost, but it still puts you off. And for some odd reason, my game has decided to paint the pit lane white. Don't know why. So Alex Jameson is in the pit, it probably doesn't need to do anything else. These times I'm not going to improve, so people have their thoughts and practice. And Nick Bailey doing his thing in the monster liveried Renault. Joe Daniels. There's Mr. Garside. He's only a second off that sort of main block of people in the 112s. Now, I have seen the livery that's in progress for him, and his looks stunning, I must say. 2 minutes 20 of this qualifying session left to go. Now, if we go in the cockpit of Mr. Garside, he will probably re-earn his... he's been very cautious. Of course you would be as I jump on board with you. And our commentator cursed him off the road at Redgate. It's very easy to do. It is really easy to do exactly that. So I'm not entirely surprised that has occurred. Whoops, and he's gone off the road at Old Hairpin. Let's look away. Let's look at John Nobbs. Again, I've caught him in the same place. I don't mean to. I don't know where they are. And once again, he's got the. He's going to hate me for that. He's absolutely going to hate me for that. He's not going to improve his time, unfortunately. It's just too wet now. So that's why Alex hasn't come back out. He's actually in the pit and has been for most of the session. I'm again not expecting anybody else to improve on times. That is a great result there. That's a really good time actually from Nick Bailey. He again had a bit of a mixed, up and down season with in the Interclub Championship. So that's really good to see that he's really got to grips with that McGann. We're essentially redoing the first round of the Interclub Championship. We were at Donington in the touring cars, but it was dry, if I recall. So it's good to get. But also, we had a very, very depleted field. It was only five drivers in one race and 3 in the other. So it's good to have. Although we should be having more. For instance, we should have Ollie Sy, Adam. I think Adam Davies is here. Matt Charrington should be with us. McCrae Williams should be in. A few other people should be here, but sadly have had technical difficulties. But hopefully we will get them in for races 2 and 3. Check flag is out, and Nick is... Oops! Okay, they don't always ghost then. It's probably because the qualifying session is done. That's why the cars didn't ghost, but sadly John got pitched into the wall. He's not having a good time, this Mr. Nobbs. Where's Jay? Here he is, just coming up to Coppice. He's not afraid of the rain, is he? But that's all undone itself. Now, Coppice is a blind on crest apex. So... that's again very easy to do. You lose so much time over that apex because you're then on to Starkey Straight, having then got your entry into it wrong. And Jay comes into the bits. There's one of the Renaults, streams over the line, and there's Mark Holmes in the Opel Astra. I couldn't particularly tell you what the inherent differences are. It's more down to setup than it is top car design. Adam Davies, he is already done in the BMW, as has Ollie Sy. Oh no, big one, he's just coming over the line to finish his. Jack Dan, yes, I didn't mention him. Apologies there, Jack. 113.1. He's managed to get on the board, probably in the drier conditions in the Renault Megane. Chris Callahan, he has already finished his run, so who are we waiting for? Is Nick Bailey. Let's see who we're waiting on. Right then, grid number 1 is sorted. It is Alex Jameson on the front. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, no disrespect to everybody else, but Alex is blindingly quick. Then Nick Bailey 2, Jay Daniels 3, Toby Owen 4, Mark Holmes 5, John Nobbs 6th, Adam Davies 7, Ollie Sy 8, Jack Dan 9, Chris Callahan 10th, David Garside 11th, and Simon Williams at the tail. And it is indeed raining. Oh my, are they going to be happy about that? The BMW runners are going to be particularly so. As mentioned, the wet conditions favour the Beamer. However, that does not mean that the front-wheel drives can't stick it to the rear-wheel drive cars, as those BMWs are lively at the best of times, and Donington is bumpy. Very, very bumpy. So one mistake and you are off into very soggy grass. So we will see how well they deal with these conditions. So now is just a 2-minute countdown for people to select the correct setups, make any adjustments they feel they need to, and then we will get underway. Hello, Mr. Domino, a good friend of mine, joining us in stream. Well, you are in the UK, it needs to be real. Too true. Too true. I couldn't tell you what the in-game date is, but that's fairly irrelevant because we Brits are fairly accustomed to the rain. Although, right now here, where I am in Somerset, is actually clear blue skies. Although it did chuck it down earlier briefly. Right then, the gentlemen have 40 seconds-ish to ready up. Otherwise, they will be disqualified from the race. So let's see them, how well these guys do. They've got another 30 seconds to figure out what they're going to figure out. All 12 drivers have made it to the start then. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get race 1 underway. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Oh, it's a steady start from the front wheel drive ones. And it's a stonker from Alex Jameson. 4 wide in the middle. Oh, keep it clean, gents. It's 15 minutes of racing, which you don't win by the time you get to the first corner. Let's go on board with Simon Williams as we come through Redgate. Oh, the car side getting a little bit wrong. Everybody has made it through turn 1 cleanly. Down the hill they come. Jay Daniels up to second. Whoa, there's someone that's gone off. John Nobbs up to third. A stonking start from the middle of the field for Mr. Nobbs. And whoa, someone is going for a big explore. Who on earth was that? Oh, it was Toby Owen who's been shoved off the road again. Goodness me, it's doing some real exploring in the Renault. Jameson leads Daniels, leads Nobbs, leads Adam Davies. A great start in the BMW. Very, very closely followed by Nick Bailey, who's not had a great start from the second position. Jack Dan, good start for him in the Renault, now up to 6th position. Mark Holmes on his tail. Well, the rest of the field, there's a little bit of a nudge there. Callahan getting himself very well introduced to Mark Holmes. It's difficult to see anything. The spray is much thicker than you think it is. Is Callahan shaping up for a move coming into the chicane? He is. He's committed to it. Can he demote Mark Holmes? No. Impact between the two. Who's going to come out on top of this one? Who's got the bigger harness? Callahan runs onto the grass, but he does manage to hold on just about to that 7th position. And there's the BMW. It's Ollie Sai looking to try and demote the pair of them. Oh, Impact! Can Ollie Sai hold it? Yes, he can. He's going to get punched in the face by the Aston, but he does manage to hold him. Ups and there goes who's wandered off the road? That's not Garside, that is Simon Williams all the way down to the tail. Coming back up to the front, Jameson leads Jay Daniels. Now the front three spreading out a little bit. Oh, John Nobbs has wandered wide. He's going to, every time I cut to him, he's wandering off the road. He's banned me for commentating on it. Oh, here comes Jack Dan. He's had a run on Adam Davies, trying to get through into the Svanska, but does not commit to the move. Look right ahead of them. That's John Nobbs has wandered wide, and Nick Bailey now up to third. Oh, and there's someone facing the wrong way. It's Ollie Sai. Oh, no. What was a great start from Ollie. Has just undone itself in the blink of an eye. John Nobbs now, as we saw, lost that position. That's on board with Jack Dan. Going to get an absolute face full of spray from the tail end of Adam Davies. Did he get a bit of a nudge then? No, he didn't. This Mark Holmes. Oh, that was a big slap of oversteer there from Adam Davies as Jack now goes through into 5th position. Nice though, nice move from Nick. He's a couple of seconds off the back of Jay Daniels. There is Jay at the top of the shot as Nick Bailey is, I was going to say he's fending off John Nobbs, but John is not, I wonder if John's not done a lot of wet practice in that car, because he doesn't seem to be quite at home as in the wet as he is in the dry. And again, I can testify how good John Nobbs is. He's a stonking sim racer. And that is Jack Dan. This has gone a bit too deep with the old hairpin. That's going to put the BMW side by side as they come through Svanska, through Stucky's Bridge, through Svanska, still side by side as they're coming out to McLean's. That's quite a blind apex, so the BMW's got the line and through into 5th position. Goes Adam Davies, Adam Davies, yes it was right. Nicely done. There's the blind apex of Coppice, now onto Starkey Straight. Bear in mind these are very short races, they're only 15 minutes each. And And there are three of them as the evening goes on. The BMW, well, the BMW lines up the move on the BMW ahead. That's Davies on knobs. Can't quite get the position. Oh, what a move from Jack! What a move from Jack Dan. He had a great run from the exit of the Fogarty S's and through into fifth position again. Very nicely done. There's a great battle forming back here. Garside fights Mark Holmes, and just ahead of Mark is Toby Owen, the man responsible for the entire series. At the tail end of the field, Callahan and Williams are minding their own business somewhat. And as Alex Jameson continues to pull away, he's extending his lead now 3 seconds to the good over Jay Daniels. Then it is Nick Bailey who has got 1.2 over that pack right there. Oh, that's brave. Very, very brave there from Adam Davies, trying to get on the inside of Jack Dan coming through Schwanska. There ain't a lot of room there, and not a big breaker turn either. You can banzai into the apex of Coppice, but you've got to be very, very brave. But that's allowing John Knott to really chase off after Nick Bailey, and side by side now as they come down towards the Fogarty S's. The rain does look like it's letting up a bit, he says, just as the spray then kicks in. And that's going to be an easy move for John, but he's gone deep. Can Nick Bailey cut back on him? Another big tail wag for John Knobs as relinquishes that position back to Nick Bailey. And here comes Jack Dan in the Renault. Can he get alongside the BMW? Absolutely fantastic stuff. And he does, but he's gone too deep into Redgate, which is very, very easy to do in the dry, let alone in the wet. And that's allowed John back up into fourth position, but John is really not having this his own way whatsoever. So we come down towards the old hairpin once again and get on board with Jack Dan, and that's Nick Bailey that's gone deep. He's going to lose 2 positions because of that mistake. Ooh, door rubbing between the two. Nick's determined to hold on to that fourth position. That's Knobs that's directly ahead. The Renault side by side. Jack, can you slow that one down? He can. Brilliant move from Jack Dan, now up to 4th place. Let's get on board with Adams. He's got a great ringside seat in the BMW. Oh, he's got too deep over Coppice. That's going to drop him right away. Now you can actually see essentially live how costly a mistake is at Coppice. And that's dropped him half a second at least. Ooh, there's a river forming there just as you get to the Fogarty S's. That's caught several drivers out by the look of it, particularly Adams. But John Knobs now back up into 3rd position, right behind him. Bailey and Jack Dan side by side as they come over the line. Down towards Redgate once again. It's very brave being on the outside coming into Redgate. It's really easy to be shoved off the road, and Nick Bailey bails out of that one. Quite wisely so. And oh, hello, Toby Owen. He's caught up to this pack now. You see from the lap times, his last lap was 3 seconds quicker than both Adams and Bailey. So some good pace then from Toby Owen. Whoa, several people going wide there. Jack Dan is still trying to press the advantage on Bailey, but they've now settled into their rhythm a little bit. Oh, and that was a little bit deep there from Adam Davies. Oh, Toby Owen. Oh, I thought he was going to go for an inside move at Coppice. It's possible, but you've got to commit to it a bit earlier than that. On to Starkey Straight once again, heading down towards the Fogarty S's. Absolutely fantastic stuff. John Knobs is going to have a bit of breathing space as the sun begins to shine. Looks like the rain has stopped, so the track will dry up. We'll see the lap times come down a bit. I do love the roar of that BMW. Again, biased, I'll take that, but it is a good noise. What can I say? View from Toby Owen as he stares in the back of the BMW of Adam Davies. Jack Dan right ahead. And it does look like that Nick Bailey's got himself a comparatively decent amount of breathing space. 1.5 seconds between himself and John Knobs. Just over a second between himself and Jack Dan. Oh, Jack's got a bit too deep. Just as a reminder, Jack's surname is not Karting. That's just the name by which he is known. That's invited Adam Davies to go side by side as they come through Schwarzkopf and heading up to McLean's. But is Toby Owen going to try and capitalise on this? The BMW is on a position and Toby dives to the inside. There's an impact between the two and the BMW spins. Oh no, he looked a set move there, but unfortunately they came together and Toby is allowing Adam back through. Nicely done, very gentlemanly. Great, there's a hell of a scrap forming here. Oh my goodness me, that's Garside with the plain Renault that's gone off the road. We come up towards Coppice once again. Oh, and Callahan's tied on the inside of Coppice. I said it's possible, you just need to commit to it early enough. So Garside's been demoted to 11th. Mark Holmes is in there. That's Ollie Sy ahead of us. Who's... Oh, there is... Oh, of course, Toby Owen with that tanglement he just had with Adam Davies. Oh, the cameraman's now lost. Oh, so is David Garside. Yeah, you can't overtake like that. There's Callahan's had a bad run through there. So Garside's been forced to let the position go. We jump back up to Jack Dan, who is beginning to close back in on Nick Bailey. Bit of a low gear for the... Oh! That's Bailey. Very, very slow through the old hairpin. He's probably gone a bit deep. Been told to give the time back. Ah, he's gone deep again by the look of it. Yeah, that's through the fourth then for Jack Dan. You can see the dry line forming. But of course that is going to force our drivers to have to go onto the wet line to try and improve their times. Or try and make a move, I should say. Jack Dan still feeling the need to defend a position though. Nick Bailey trying to follow in the tyre tracks as the field now beginning to spread out. 4.5 minutes to go of this first race. Ollie Sy looks like he's getting a bit closer to Adam Davies. Potential move forming in there. Oh, that river is still there right by the fog of the S's. Trying to slow the cars down. You end up going through this lake. That's what you need. There is Nick Bailey and Jack Dan still fairly close together. And those couple of mistakes we saw from Nick. Oh, he's trying to get the tail to slide, but the car wasn't having it. Oh, that's too deep. That's too deep. He found a fairly soggy bit on the outside of the Craner curves. And that sent him off the road, unfortunately. Oh, and that's Adams has gone too deep. Here comes Ollie Sy. What can he do against the Sienna Viper as he's known here? That's Adams, that's Davies. That's Adam Davies, I should say. Ooh, he's going to go. And that's someone in the pits. That's Simon Williams. He's brought his car in. Why has he brought his car in? I'm assuming there's damage on that. We can't really see it because the trackside camera doesn't show. That's Jay Daniels has gone through. As Alex now into the 114s. Now leads by... he leads by a huge amount. I'm saying a minute because the timing's gotten a little bit lost. It's actually 12 seconds. Have a look at Mr. Garside, representing Mistral Motorsport. Chasing Chris Callahan for 10th position. Oh, the Beamers side by side coming down to Redgate. Both of them hitting the water. Oh, who's got the bigger cojones today? Nicely done, Ollie Sy on the outside of Adam Davies to take that 6th place. Very nicely done. Oh, sounds like someone going very, very slow. Yep, that's someone who wandered way off the road as David Garside's brought his car into the pits. Who on earth was wandering that wide? It wasn't Nick Bailey, although he has lost. He's made another mistake as Nick, as he's now lost the back of Jack Dan. Was it? No, it can't be Garside, because Garside's in the pits. I'm not sure who that was that we saw wandering a bit too wide. Up the hill over the crest for Coppice once again. 2 minutes to go. Whoa, the tail getting lively. If you get the slide right, it's a lot of fun. I have, I can testify to how much fun that is when you get the tail wagging just right. Oh no, Adam's not going to. He got caught out there by the web. That's Nick Bailey in trouble. That's Nick Bailey in. Is that Nick in the pits? No, it's not Nick Bailey at all. I beg your pardon. That is Simon Williams. That's who was all wandering off the road. I beg your pardon. There's me maligning Nick there. Oh no. Now you could be forgiven for assuming that these guys are club racers. They do this. They do this in their spare time for fun. Why can't that skill transfer over to the sim racing? Well, it's the same way that if you're good at Guitar Hero, it doesn't automatically make you a guitar player. It might help, but it's still a completely different skill set. But your winner... Oh, big button's got another minute to go. I'm declaring Alex the winner already. Although the odds are he will be, as he has a 15-second lead over Jay Daniels. Ambition Racing. Also, John and Alex have actually teamed up in this. Ambition Racing facing a first and a third. JD Motorsport for Jack Dan. I didn't look at the team names too closely. My apologies for that. Scuzzle Motorsport for Nick Bailey. So he's going to claim that fifth position in race 1. And Mr. Davies not running a team name. Toby Owen representing Avalon Motorsport. Looks set in 7th. Ollie Sai for Cytec. I pronounce his name as Seeger on the very first time. I commentated on him, which he didn't take too kindly to. Mark Holmes. Oh, was that Ollie running a bit wide? He was just being a little... Oh, what's happened to John? What has happened to John Nobbs? He has binned it at the old hairpin, I think. And that's Nick Bailey in 4th. The race is done. I've completely missed this man with a 1:14 dead. I do like that kind of symmetrical lap time. Well done to Alex Jameson taking the first win. Jay Daniels quite some way down the road. Here he comes in the Renault. He's going to take 2nd place. Jack Dan from qualifying quite way down. Cautiously comes through the Fogarty S's and is going to round out the podium. Nate Bailey with a last lap mistake from John Nobbs. As much as John will fight back, he's not going to be enough. 4th position for Nick Bailey, 5th for John Nobbs, 6th for Adam Davies, 7th is going to be Toby Owen. Ollie Sai is going to claim 8th place. There's a big old lake still there. That's a big revving at the end of there is Simon Williams, who's going to cross the line. Wooden spoon for him, I'm afraid. That's Callahan and Mark Holmes coming over the line for 9th and 10th. And David Garside was a lap down. And there we go. So confirmation of the finishing positions, as I mentioned. Of course, the fastest lap going to Mr. Jameson. That I am not surprised at in the slightest. Getting a 1:14. 1.6. Oh no, big one. There wasn't another 14. It was, of course, the sim races, as John Nobbs was also right there in 5th position. Podium confirmation. And we will see. Now these points, ignore them. We aren't running with this point structure. The point structure we're using encompasses the event as opposed as all 3 races in the event, as opposed to just one single race. And that is going to be race number 1. Don't go anywhere. We have got plenty more coming. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you as soon as we can. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the continued delay, but we will get race number 2 underway. Being that we had some technical trouble with the first round, we will be running a new qualifying session as opposed to the results from race 1 forming the grid for race 2, which was the original design. But this does give me an opportunity to talk about one of our featured racers, Mr. Alex Rhodes. Just as I say that, we're actually loading into the session, but we'll get over to that in a minute. So when he was growing up, not a lot of money around. I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. In 2008, the VXR Shambles of the Year, as he called it, he met a few people that would go on to organise some incredible events. He didn't know at the time, but he ended up racing against Roman Grosjean, Sam Bird and Jean-Eric Vergne at Wembley during a 24-hour race held the weekend after the Race of Champions. How awesome is that? That's absolutely superb. He did many more 24-hour karting events at Alain Prost's circuit in Le Mans, next to the Bugatti circuit, and have always kept pace with the world-class talent. Unfortunately, I haven't ever been wealthy enough to race beyond open entry events, and again, I'm sure a lot of us can equate to that. We have got 16 racers with us. Excellent. Let's kill the music and get into this quali session. I will continue to read out the information that has been given to me. As we see Mr. Nobbs come out on circuit. Now again, the weather is still set to what happened on that particular game. Again, I forgot to look at what the date in game is. Never mind. This wasn't until I bought this. So coming back to information about Alex Rhodes, who is in this race. There he is. He's also running the BMW. He's in the red and white one. We'll go through the names in a minute because again we have got several new drivers, as you can clearly see. This wasn't until I bought a scrap MX-5 a few years ago. I did all the work to get it road legal and then set about making it ready to compete at hill climb events. I competed at the Harwood Hill Climb Championship last year, and should COVID-19 allow, I will be competing there this year too. The sim racing life has been a little different. I got back into sim racing in 2003, where I found Live for Speed. That's one of the first sim racing games I ever tried. Whoops, as he's having a bit of an argument with whoever it is that's running the orange BMW. I was using keyboard to control the vehicle at the time, but found a small amount of pace despite the lack of kit. That's actually very true. That in sim racing terms, the kit does not dictate the overall pace. It's still down to the fleshy bit behind the steering wheel. Good kit helps, but is not the be-all and end-all. I eventually moved on to the cheapest wheel and pedals I could and used 3 15-inch CRTs, specialised software to force triple screen output, which was revolutionary at the time. I then taught myself how to make liveries for sim racing following web coding, and after a few years of sim racing I was set up with a team, website and some stunning liveries for LFS, R-Factor and Game Stock Car. Some decent sims. I then took a long absence from sim racing and returned a few years ago to find that many games were badge engineered versions of R-Factor. And Kunos Simulzoni was still only development team using real-world physics models. So I was stuck with AC, which is a Assetto Corsa, until the lockdown, where I began league racing again. Due to the development house making it difficult for Project Earth 2 to be modded, very true, I decided to take the modifications necessary to allow the VTCC to run personal liveries, which we will see in round 3, as I've already mentioned. Meanwhile, I've been developing various sim racing products, almost ready for launch. First switch panel button box, almost ready to launch, I should say, which I'm super excited about. Other developments I won't be talking about just yet. Excellent. Right then, let's have a run through on who we have got for race number 2. Whoa! Nick Bailey killing one of the advertising hoardings at the tail end of the Renault. Alex Rose, as we have just been watching, is the first time to come in. John Nobbs returns to us in the BMW. Jay Daniels with us again in the Renault. Mark Holmes also in the Astra. One of the 2 Astra runners, as of course Alex Jameson gets to the top of the tree in his distinctive yellow BMW. Adam Davies in the Union Jack coloured Beamer. Mark Holmes, we mentioned. David Garside, I was running a stock livery this time. Oh yes, give it some wellies, sir. Very nicely done. New driver in this time, McRae Williams. 2 Williams we have in the field. Now, I did commentate on McRae for a one-off special a couple of weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, maybe? It was a 90-minute touring car race at Silverstone. It was good fun. Matt Cherrington was having some technical difficulties getting into the lobby, but here he is in the orange BMW. Simon Williams also with us in the Astra. He's having a bit of an argument with one of the BMWs, it looks like. Ollie Sy in the Castrol flavoured. That's what it makes me think of. It's not officially Castrol branded, but the white and green and red flashed car makes me think of Castrol. Chris Callahan returns to us in the Renault. Jack Dan also in the Renault. Gary Cooper I wish to give a particular mention to, as he was going to be part of the Inaugural Championship, but sadly was, if I remember this correctly, was actually struck with COVID-19. So it was really good to see him back behind the wheel. All credit to you, Gary Cooper. And Black Sheep is Toby Owen, the organiser of the event. 17 races once actually joined us since the lobby began. So welcome to you all, as Mr. Sherrington with a 12-0 has gone back to the bits. So once again, other than Jameson, and you might hear me say that a few times, I mean no disrespect to Alex, I mean no disrespect to everybody else, but just Alex is very, very quick. He's 1.5 seconds ahead of Nick Bailey once again, stonking time from the scuzzle. Oh, hello, Mr. Rhodes. 1:10. Now again, we didn't see Alex at all in the last race. So, and of course we have two Alexes, and two ALEs, two Ales at the top of the tree. That's not going to be confusing at all. Two quick Alexes. Thanks, gentlemen. Whoops! As he's gone completely wrong at the old hairpin. Never mind. Plenty of time. 9 minutes for them to set a time. Jay, fourth position. Yet to see a time from Simon Williams, Ollie Sy, or Chris Callaghan. Oh, Chris Callaghan just today 12.3. Oh, there's a name I missed. Mr. Fishwick, Colin Dunn, in the white and blue beamer. Both the Alexes in the pits. If your name isn't Alex, you're not allowed to be in the pits, it would seem. And pick up the Renault right ahead, having their own argument down there. Oh, get off the grass. That's not going to help you. So just Simon Williams to set the time. Does he set one on this occasion? No, he does not. There is Alex Jameson coming out. Now we saw a lap from Alex Jameson first time around. So we'll jump on board with Simon Williams. You can see how the front wheel drive cars do it. There's subtle differences. Mainly if the tail misbehaves. Oh, look at Nick Bailey really get the tail going in the monster livery Renault ahead of us. Through Starkey's Bridge, Schwarzkopf, and now the cleans. Yep, that is as blind as it looks. Coppice is even worse for that. Oh, as we see Toby Owen jumping up the field to 6th place, I believe. Oh, well held. You really have got to just commit. You've got to throw it in and hope that you get the apex right. And it's very easy, very easy to get Coppice wrong. What's the Fogarty S's? Really steady from Simon Williams there. As David Garside's gone into the pits. Let's see what time that is for Simon Williams. Let's say 12.8. Whole field is separated by... I mean, even if you disregard, as Simon's gone to build some sandcastles out there in the Grand Tram, even if you ignore Alex's time, it's 2.5 seconds top to bottom. Even with it, it's 3.6. Is Mr. Garza going to come out? Well, Simon's jumped back to the pits. I mean, we did see him doing a bit of lawn mowing on the exit, on the outside rather, of Redgate. Jack Dan and who was in the Castrol BMW? I've already forgotten. Having a bit of an argument on the track space. Does Jack improve? He does not. Quite a few people invalidating lap times, and it's very easy to do. Well, I mean, this rather serves as racing practice, but isn't going to serve helping you with qualifying times. But look how close each time is. 3 tenths, 2 tenths, 400ths, 14 thousandths. Half a second. There's the biggest gap, other than first to second, is 6th to 7th. Then there's a tenth, another 200ths, 400ths. Just shy of 2 tenths. It's so close. Absolutely amazing. Oh, McRae Williams has just jumped up out of the wooden spoon spot with a 12.5. I mean, if you find half a second, that could easily get you 4 positions. Absolutely fantastic setup. As a reminder, these are open setups, so these guys, they can still use the default setups, and Alex Jameson was alluding that the default setups are quite handy. Oh, I reckon you've invalidated that. Or you've pushed it. Yeah, he's pulled over. He pushed it a little bit too hard. But Alex is very much one of these drivers. It is all or nothing. You know, turn it up to 11 or don't bother. Gary Cooper. Nice. With a 1:10.6. I just realised I thought he was still Alex Rhodes. In second, my mistake. It's actually Gary Cooper. In the Renault. Up in second. Apologies, I'm not sure how long you've been in that. I think you've been in that second position for quite a while. Again, I was looking at the gaps as opposed to who had gotten those times. Apologies, Gary Cooper. Nice effort, sir. John Nobbs in the sister BMW to Alex. Now, again, there's nothing stopping these guys working on setups to help each other. Obviously, a BMW setup is not going to help an Astra or a Renault, but you get the idea. I would never get enough of that distinct BMW gear. McRae, have we lost one? No, McRae Williams has jumped up 11.5. Nice effort there. Has suddenly jumped up to 7. I was just thinking, hang on. We lost a driver, thinking McRae had dropped, but no, McRae Williams has not dropped at all. Fantastic. 4 minutes to go. Jameson currently sits on the front row with Gary Cooper. Look at this. Chuck it in. Didn't quite get the tail to wag, which is, well, in the dry is not so easy to do in the front wheel drive cars. Oh, someone's binned it sounds like. So someone's engine room dropped. Yep. That's the, I'm not sure who that was actually, that's in the parked Astra. There's only 2 of them. Jay. Is that crazy? I will get used to who's in what car. There is indeed no A45. No one went for the Mercedes. I couldn't particularly tell you for why. I know it might be the Merc that has that very weird kind of whistling noise at full crank. But they all have a varying degree of whistling noise, as we have see Toby Owen come over the line. To the thousandth of a second has matched McRae Williams with a 111.5 as Alex Jameson has taken pity on the rest of the field and jumped back to the pits. Who should we have a look at? Alex Rhodes, one of our featured racers, along with Mark Holmes. Where's Mark actually? He's in 10th at the moment with a 111.8 in the Astra. That's who we saw parked on the side of the road earlier. He's got time to do something about his times as Alex. Is he pulled over? He has. Oh, okay. Not sure what they're doing here. There's no one directly ahead of Alex, so I think he was trying to let the Renault through, but the Renault's decided he didn't want to go through. Go on, give it the beans. There's no one directly ahead of him. Well, someone directly ahead of him now. That's Alex Jameson coming back out of the pits for one last go, as Toby Owen has brought his car back in. Oh, Alex, that car's getting very squiggly. Coming into Redgate. Nick Bailey, who's got some support here this evening. Coming down to the Fogarty yeses. Yeah, get the tail going. That's what we love to see in the touring cars. Over the line, does he improve? 111, 140 currently his time. He does not improve. Remains in 4th. Just about enough time to do 2 laps. But only if they're both good laps. But look at that. Really, really close in times as mentioned. Jay Daniels, who was qualified towards the front, is down in 6th at the moment with 111.9. I mean, that's not a bad time. Someone revving the life out of the Beamer. But that's the way you've got to do these things. You have got to really drive them hard. As Alex Rhodes from 3rd is come back into the pits with 110.979. 11.0 is Jay down to the time still in 4th position. Gary Williams still out there. There's Mark Holmes, our other featured driver there. He is in 12th position, 111.821. Just 18 thousandths behind Colin Dunn. What can he do from here? The checker flag is about to fall back. Charrington has just invalidated his last lap. He'll be done for the day. Checker flag is out. Qualifying is done. Let's follow Mark Holmes through his lap. As Jameson is back in the pits, he will do no more to further his already impressive advantage. John Nobbs is back in the pits, 2 thousandths of a second behind Nick Bailey. with a 1:11, 1:42. We're doing no higher than 6th. Simon Williams is back in the pits as well. Colin Dunn is done for the day. That pun had to come in somewhere with a 1:11.8. Jay Daniels is having an argument with someone over track position. Oh, Gary Cooper, I think, actually meant to improve his time to a 10:6:09. That's a stormer. And Mark is back in the pits. He did not improve. Where is Mr. Bailey? Look at the Fogarty S's where he is. Oh, he didn't look like he wanted to commit to the chicane. 1:11, 1:40, 5th position at the moment. Does he improve? We won't know until the positions come up. Let us see. He did not improve on that one. So Alex Jameson and Gary Cooper this time take the front row. Alex Rose and Jay Daniels row 2. Nick Bailey and John Nobbs row 3. McCrae Williams and Toby Owen row 4. Jack Dan didn't talk about Jack too much. In 9th, along with Matt Cherrington. Good effort there in the orange Beamer. In 9th and 10th, row 5. Then it's Colin Dunn and Mark Holmes row 6. Ollie Sy and Adam Davies row 7. David Garside and Chris Callahan in row 8. And Simon Williams at the tail of the field. That's more like it. That's what we like to see. A big packed field. 12 races gave me enough to scream about last time, I'm sure you'll agree. But this time there are 17 of them. So then, as before, they have 2 minutes to change setup, make any tweaks that they feel will help them. And then they confirm by hitting the ready button, which we don't see here. And then we will get this 15-minute race underway, race number 2. Looks perfectly bone dry. Don't see any clouds around, so we could be in for a completely dry race. We'll make it a little bit more of an even field as far as the front wheel drives to rear wheel drives. I won't call it a deficit, but it has been noted that the rear wheel drive cars, namely the BMW, or only the BMW, does seem to prefer the wet weather. Right then, race number 2, 15 minutes. Let's get the show on the road. It is time to wind them up and let them go. Let's see who's going to... Oh, that was a very slow start from Alex Rhodes. Oh, but what a stormer from Gary Cooper. Could he take the lead from Jameson as they bang doors coming down towards Redgate? Gary Cooper noses into the lead, but Alex Jameson's going to have the inside line and retakes the lead there. Up into 3rd is Nick Bailey. He's going to try and dethrone Gary Cooper. Oh, as they bang doors, Nick Bailey up to the second. Gary's round. Oh my goodness, what a catch from Gary Cooper. Oh, but a huge impact right behind him. That's who was that? It was Ollie Sy in the Castrol flavoured BMW, now down to 13th place. Jay Daniels is all the way down to last. He's gone off the road with Simon Williams and the old hairpin. Oh my goodness me, it is chaos at the tail of the field. Up front, and there is Nick Bailey having a go at Alex Jameson for the lead. What a great start from Nick Bailey. It is difficult to put pressure on Alex Jameson. Look how early Alex went for that defensive line. Right behind John Nobbs. Then it is Colin, beg your pardon, there's Toby Owen. Jack Dan up into 5th position. Colin Dunn, Gary Cooper. Oh, dive to the inside of the Fogarty S's. Oh my goodness, Gary Cooper means business. Oh, Colin Dunn might feel a bit of grief by that. But, wow, that was very aggressive from Gary Cooper. As is the way with touring cars, it's difficult for me to know where to look. But look at this, and into the pit already is Mark Holmes. Oh no, that is a shame for Mark. Again, the camera's looking the wrong way. We can't see what's going on there. But that's the view from Nick Bailey, keeping the pressure on Alex Jameson. Alex is on a fairly steady run through the old hairpin, and looks like Nick Bailey's going to be in a position to challenge for the race lead coming up towards McLean's. Oh, he goes to the outside. That's brave. No, he can't commit to that. And Ollie Sy, the first one to get a penalty. Side by side coming up to Coppice. Goodness me, Alex Jameson's not accustomed to this. He's not accustomed to defending. Oh, can Nick Bailey get the switcheroo? Ooh, impact between the two, but they are well held. Side by side, no, not quite. Alex has just, and only just, got the momentum to fend off Nick Bailey coming down towards the Fogarty S's once again. Whoa, a huge amount of oversteer, catching that big old sausage curb, really unbalanced Nick Bailey's car as they scream on down towards, oh goodness me, just about catching my breath, Did Nick get a penalty? He did. He got a 3-second penalty. Oh, ouch. The track penalties are not kind here at Donington Park, unfortunately. Oh, Callahan's in trouble, I think. Chris Callahan's just fallen down. Yep, there he is. He just went wide at Redgate. We just saw his name plummet through the field. But look at this scrap here. At the back of which is Matt Charrington. Right ahead of him is Colin Dunn. Excuse me. McRae Williams. Oh, it's a great run through the old hairpin for Charrington. Oh, he doesn't go side by side though. And look at that three-way battle. There's a bit of a gap between Colin Dunn and McRae Williams, who's following Gary Cooper, who's got that is Toby Owen already ahead of him. Looks like Alex Jameson is getting into his stride somewhat. He now has a seconds lead up front. That's the view from Gary Cooper on the back of Toby Owens. He's going to banzai into this Fogarty. Yes, again. Yes, he does. He gets the move done this time. Oh, Gary Cooper means business. For someone that was very, very ill only a month or so ago, to be really charging hard is a joy to see. Fair play to you, sir. There you go. That's what the lead now looks like. Alex Jameson has broken free of Nick Bailey. Has he got another penalty? He has indeed. He's now got 6 seconds worth of penalties to Nick Bailey. You may be quick, but if you're track extending too much, then it's not going to help you. Look at the view ahead of Chris Callahan in 10th position. Oh, that was Gary Cooper, who's now at the 5th position, going a bit too wide. Chris Callahan has made a nice move on Matt Charrington there. Oh, still side by side coming towards McLean, just about noses ahead of the BMW. We did see Gary make the move on Toby Owen before. His next target is Jack Dam. There is Jack at the bottom of the shot. Further back, Alex Rhodes. Oh no, he spun! Big damage to the BMW though. Oh, it was a shame. Alex qualified well, but now down towards the back of the field. There's Mark Holmes, who's been through the pits, remember. Trying to make up some time. And the wooden spoon avoidance. Jay Daniels down in 13th. Rather, 17th, 13th. They're similar. He's now on the back of Adam Davies. Returns on the back of Matt Charrington. Quite a few penalties coming out. It's ironic because this is the dry race, where the car should be easy to control, but that of course makes you push a bit harder. Alex now really into his stride. Going to be a difficult man to catch. Bailey 2. John Nobbs in 3rd. Jack down 4th. Gary Cooper charging through the field in 5th position. Then it is McRae Williams and Toby Owen. And McRae's gone too wide. It seems I curse whoever I jump on board with. McRae Williams has lost so much momentum onto the back straight. But there is Colin Dunn directly behind. And then he's also got this big gaggle here. That is Chris Callahan, Ollie's side, Matt Charrington, Jay Daniels, and that's we're on board with, who again has just made a mistake by clonking that big sausage curve coming through the Fogarty S's, Adam Davies. And Alex Rhodes has been demoted at some point in the lap to last by Mark Holmes, who's now looking at David Garside. Toby Owen and Gary Cooper and Jack Dam, 3-way fight for 4th place. So Gary Cooper's reeled in Jack Dam and also dragged Colin Dunn with him. Bit of a lock-up there from, I think it was Jack's car. They're all in the McGann. Not that all in the McGann, these 3 are in the McGann, I should say. And over Coppice once again onto Starkey Straight for these 3. And Gary's going to go for the inside line. No, he switches to the outside line now as Jack Dan defends the inside, side by side towards the Fogarty S's. No, Gary Cooper decides not to try and outbrake. Oh, but he's very, very slow. He's compromised coming through the Fogarty S's. As Toby Owen now gets the run. Side by side with Gary coming down towards Coppice once again. Redgate rather, once again. Bit of a nudge from the 2. And Gary was not willing to let that go. And right behind them you see McRae Williams and Colin Dunn. So Colin's fallen to 8th position now. Oh goodness me. Jay on the back of Adam Davies, who is still staring at the back of Matt Charrington and Ollie Sy. Steady through the old hairpin. The BMW's running a little bit too wide. It's a bit of dust, but they remain where they are. And that's the view that Alex Jameson is enjoying once again. Oh, someone's stuck in the pit lane. It's David Garside. He has had a problem and he's blocking the pit lane entrance. Oh dear. Problem there for David Garside. Oh my goodness, look right ahead. 3 almost wide coming into the Fogarty S's. That is on his side, getting past Chris Callaghan for 9th place. Well played, Castrol Flavour BMW. Nicely done. Matt Charrington falls in line behind Chris Callaghan. Behind him is Adam Davies, right with him is Jay Daniels. Bit of a lockup from someone, not sure who that was. Is Jay Daniels going to potentially go alongside? No, not quite. Chris Callaghan got all out of shape coming into Redgate. Oh, that's deep, Matt! And he can't resume the racing line because there's a wild Sienna Viper, otherwise there's Adam Davies there, but that's forced Adam too wide into the old hairpin. Jay Daniels goes through into 12th. Now immediately onto the back of the orange BMW. Goodness me. This is what we live for as commentators, and I hope that you guys in the stream, or those catching up with it afterwards, are enjoying it as much as I am. This is absolutely thrilling stuff. Is this not what we love about touring cars? Further up the field, this 3-way Ranu battle has not diminished as Jack Dan was defending the inside line and Toby Owen was like, I'm having none of that. Dives through on the inside of the Renegade. Can he slow it down? No, Jack Dan gets the switch on him. Nicely done. Back up into 5th position for Jack Dan. But that is allowing Gary Cooper to get a bit of breathing space. Now up to 4th place. Great effort there as we go on board once again with Toby Owen down into the old hairpin. Now heading towards Starkersby and Stransgurn. I don't know the right valves out of it. I do have a bit of a cold, so apologies there. Renault on Renault, 4, 5 and 6. Toby's had a decent run through the cleans, doesn't go with the inside line of Cobb. It's probably quite wise, it wasn't enough for the speed difference, but he's had a good run through the right-hander onto Starkey Straight. The slipstream effect isn't huge in these cars, the straights aren't particularly long, but it is big enough to make a bit of a difference side by side with the Fogarty S's, but no, Toby rather, has gone a little bit too deep and compromises attack on Jack Dan, goodness me, I'm getting everybody's names wrong. I wholeheartedly apologise. Whoa, looking further back. Goodness me. That's Ollie Sy and Colin Dunn having an argument for 8th position coming out of the Fogarty S's. Oh, Chris Callaghan on the outside in the Renault. Can he make it stick? I'm not entirely sure that was actually what he meant to do. I think that's what he ended up doing. Jay Daniels now up into 11th place. He's been making progress off camera. Down the hill towards the old hairpin. Once again, the BMW side by side. Ollie Sy and Colin Dunn still having an argument. A bit of a lock up there from Callaghan. Jay Daniels just kind of sitting back and watching, waiting for these guys to kill each other almost. Oh, side by side again. Colin Dunn and Ollie Sy. Many times these guys have crossed swords in the virtual world. Up and over Coppice once again. It's very hard to do when you're on your own, let alone side by side as Ollie Sy has gone too wide, lost loads of momentum, and through goes Callaghan and Daniels. And David Garside has finally made it into the pits. Oh my goodness! Down towards the Fogarty S's once again! What a move from Callaghan! That's demoted Colin Dunn 2 positions, and through went Ollie Sy as well. Goodness me, Chris Callaghan! And now Matt Charrington's going to get involved in this fight as well. Fantastic stuff. But also, Toby Owen and Jack Dan are continuing their fight for 5th position. Well, because they're fighting, Gary Cooper is now fairly comfortably in 4th. And also Simon Williams on the back of Mark Holmes. So Alex Rhodes is continuing to have a bad day towards the tail of the field. David Garside has had all kinds of technical trouble. That's Colin Dunn way too wide. Coming into the old hairpin, it's going to cost him a lot of momentum to recover from that. Through into 11th goes Matt Sherrington. Here it is. But look at the penalties. 9 seconds for Nick Bailey up front. 1 for John Nobbs. 4 for Gary Cooper. 4 for Jack Dan. 1 for McGray Williams. 2 for Chris Callahan. 6 for Oddy Sai. 1 for Adam Davies. 4 rather for Mark Holmes. 7 for Simon Williams. So penalties are plenty. Oh, side by side, Toby Owen and Jack Dan. Coming into red gate, Jack on the inside line, Toby on the outside. That's surely going to go the way of Jack Dan, and it does. Well defended there. Jay and Chris having an argument for 8th position. Behind them, Ollie Sy and Matt Sherrington staring at one another, along with Colin Dunn. Easy out of the bottom of the shot was Ollie Sy. Now, finally, the field with only a minute to go is settling down. Oh my goodness. For those interested in taking part, head over to the VTCC, the Virtual Touring Car Cup page on Facebook. State your intent. It's not up to me, I'm just the commentator. I just have the great pleasure of screaming about it. But it is a cup that is open to sim races and club races alike. How much room there is in the lobby, now that I can't answer. But it is any car in the touring car class here on Project Cars 2 for the PC. Head over to the Facebook page, make your intent known, and hopefully we can get you involved. Oh, again. Even though this position at this rate will be decided by penalties, Toby Owen is not relying on that. Checker flag is out. Awaiting once again this man, Alex Jameson. As who's he catching up? There's an argument there. I think that's I believe that is Simon. Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, it is. It's Alex Rhodes and Simon Williams, but over the line to win race number 2 is Alex Jameson. Nick Bailey is going to wrestle that Renault home in 2nd position. Great effort there for Mr. Scuzzle. John Nobbs is going to bring the 2nd yellow BMW home. He's not a fan of that of the front. Yes, is he? Gary Cooper in 4th. Great effort there, but again, penalties will shuffle people around. Jack Dan is just about going to fend off Toby Owen over the line, but Toby will take that position, and there he goes. Toby Owen 5, Jack Dan in 6th. McRae Williams, excellent effort in 7th. Here comes Jay Daniels has overtaken Chris Callahan down to the line. That would have happened anyway, but there's Ollie Sy leading home Matt Sherrington, although Matt's going to take 10th. Colin Dunn up to 11th. Ollie Sy demoted to 12th because of penalties. Here comes Adam Davies. Sienna Viper himself over the line for 13th. Mark Holmes brings the Astra home in 14th position. Was being challenged by Alex Rose. Whoa, that's a lot of slide in the BMW. It's not gone well for Alex, but over the line in 15th position, Simon Williams and David Garside already a lap down, I believe. Oh no, there is Williams. Whoa! Kicking up a lot of dust. So Simon had a massive spin. There was a 3-minute lap time on the end there for him. But race number 2 going to Alex Jameson. But Nick Bailey, an excellent 2nd position, even with 9 seconds of penalties as well. Holds on to that 2nd position by just shy of 2 seconds, I think. John Nobbs 3, Gary Cooper in 4th, Toby Owen 5, Jack Dan 6th, McRae Williams 7th, Jay Daniels 8th, Chris Callahan 9, Matt Sherrington rounding out the top 10, Colin Dunn 11, Ollie Sy 12th, Adam Davies 13, Mark Holmes 14, Alex Rhodes 15th, Simon Williams in 16th, and David Garside at the tail of the field. Race number 3 is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with you as soon as we can. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third and final round of this first event here at Donington Park. We are loading in 17 drivers, I believe. I think I just saw John Nobbs. I was unfortunately left the session just at the wrong moment, literally as we were loading in. So maybe one short on where we were last time. It's going to be a random grid. So whatever order that people are plonked on the grid, that is where they are going to begin. And yep, it is only 16. We lost John Nobbs right as we were loading him. It's very unfortunate. But Matt Cherrington and Colin Dunn will be taking the front row. Adam Davies and Ollie Sy will take row 2. Gary Cooper and Alex Rhodes will take row 3. Nick Bailey and Simon Williams, row 4. Then it's Jack Dan and Toby Owen, row 5. Mark Holmes and Jay Daniels, row 6. Chris Callahan and Alex Jameson, row 7. And McRae Williams and David Garside take the tail end of the field. Well, our double race winner, Mr. Jameson, down there in 14th place. He, whenever we've done these reverse grids before, he has done well to work his way through the field. So he most certainly can do it. As a reminder, this 2-minute session, 2-minute timer still counts down, so people can select the right setups, make any tweaks they feel they can, and then they hit that ready button to tell the game when they are ready to go. So the pressure on Cherrington and Dunn to get a good start and to try and fend off everybody else. Here we go then. 16 racers to see out the final round here at Donington National. Time once again to wind them up and let them go. Oh, Matt hasn't moved. Matt's had a technical problem. He hasn't moved at all. Oh, and everybody avoids him. Oh, disastrous for Matt Cherrington. But Colin Dunn has not had any such trouble. Ollie Sy, 3 wide coming into the first turn. Through goes Adam Davies, and that's Nick Bailey that's tangling with Gary Cooper. Gary makes it through, punches Ollie Sy in the face. Oh, and that's Ollie Sy and Gary Cooper slamming into the wall. Oh no, Matt Cherrington is now underway. Ollie Sy, oh, huge damage. Very rearranged car for Gary Cooper, but Colin Dunn is just gone into the distance. Jack Dan up to second now with a Nick Bailey third. Adam Davies down into 4th position. Jay Daniels sideways coming through McLean's. Absolutely unreal. Simon Williams behind there as Alex Jameson. That's going to nail Simon Williams for 6th position through McLean. Starting 14th, now up into 6th place is Alex Jameson. Mark Holmes, David Garside was last and is now up into 9th place. Alex Rhodes starting fairly up the field. Oh, he's risking that sausage curve. There's McRae Williams in 11th. Ollie Sy, is he continuing? Is he pitting? No, Ollie Sy is going to carry on. Matt Cherrington doesn't pit. Chris Callahan's down to 14th. Gary Cooper with an absolutely wrecked screen does come in. And Toby Owen has fallen through the field as well. Oh my God, side by side, that's Jameson. Alex Jameson now up into 4th place. My goodness me, he's got Jay Daniels trying to take Adam Davies on the outside coming through the old hairpin. Unbelievable scenes. Look at this lot. All the way down to 11th in this one stream. Look at that. They're all behind, not because of, but they are behind Nick Bailey. Nick up to 2nd. Jameson now 3rd. So look at someone's flown off the road. Wow, someone's flown off the road, all right. My goodness. Who was that? Simon Williams have flown off the road. I think Ollie Sy's just caught up with him. On board with Jack Dan. He's got Jay Daniels, Alex Jameson and Nick Bailey directly ahead. So in one lap, Jameson has already pulled himself up. 2 laps has pulled himself up into a potential podium spot. Goodness me, looking behind. Oh, I would not want to be Williams in that. Oh no, huge incident. massive, massive accident. Garside is on his side and just about rolls over. Oh my goodness, who is that bouncing around? Oh, beg your pardon, it was on his side. It was on his side. And that is David Garside, who was bouncing around. Oh, huge damage to the Renault. That does not want to behave itself. Oh my days. On board again with Jack Dan as Alex Jameson is really fighting Nick Bailey hard for second position. They've already caught back up to Colin Dunn, but Nick Bailey's having none of that. A good exit from McLean keeps the mighty Jameson behind through Coppice. That BMW is every which way but straight. Such is how hard Alex Jameson is pushing down the Starkey Straight once again towards the Fogger DS's. Colin Dunn is being caught pretty quickly. There is position changing all over the place. And Bailey's looking at Dunn. He's potentially starting to remove the lead, but Alex Jameson's going to have something to say about that as we come down towards Redgate once again. 11 minutes remaining of the race. Oh no, that's Colin Dunn and Nick Bailey tangling. How did Nick Bailey only hit the wall? I don't know. But that's handed the lead back over to Alex Jameson. Jay Daniels second. Jack Dan in third. Alex Rhodes all the way up to fourth. Wow. Nick Bailey and McCrae Williams first to get a penalty on the board, which is quite incredible considering the shenanigans we've seen so far. David Garside in the pits. Oh, wow, just about catching my breath. There is Colin Dunn, who was leading at the blink of an eye ago. Matt Cherrington and Chris Callahan having an argument for 8th position, and that's Mark Holmes. That is all over the place in a very damaged Astra, trying to dethrone Adam Davies from 11th place. Toby Owen just out of the ball. Oh no, this Mark's gone. Well caught, sir. This is the advantage of a front-wheel drive car. Point the wheel in the direction you want to go and floor it. And there is Simon Williams. Both of them have got... It looks like they're having a conversation to each other with the way that their front bumpers are flapping around. Ollie's side without a front bumper at all. Indeed, quite a significant part of the front end of the car is just gone. As Holmes is coming in. Dear Lord. That's what it looks like. If he's driving from it on board, that's what he's going to look through. As he's already a lap down. That's actually the leaders ahead of him. There's Rhodes. Sorry, there's Jameson. And there's Jay Daniels ahead of Cooper. And of course, Garside. Corey Williams still on the back of Nick Bailey, who's also on the penalty board now. A few penalties cropping up. 2 for Nick Bailey, 3 for McRae, 2 for Ollie Time, 1 for Mark Holmes. Ooh, it looks like Jack Dan is going to start getting on Jay Daniels' case. Not far behind them, with Gary Cooper in the way. That's Alex Rhodes flashing his lights at Gary Cooper. Absolutely correct use of lights there. Oh, Jack Dan, careful! That grass has already claimed people today. In the background is Alex Rhodes. He's fallen a little bit off the back of Gary Cooper. Oh, another. I think it was Gary. Yeah, it's Gary Cooper now on the penalty board. 2 seconds for him. Back in the pits, and Ollie Sy has retired the car. We saw him having a lot of trouble, and there is Adam Davies on the back of Toby Owen as Jack Dan has lost third to Alex Rhodes. Trying to have a go at him back in Coppice. Alex Rhodes up to third place now. Oh, and that's trouble at the back. Is that McRae? It was McRae Williams. Go a little bit too wide at Coppice. Colin Dunn already behind. Alex Jameson already with a 5.5 second lead up front. Sliding the tail of the BMW round. There's Adam Davies on the back of Toby Owen for 10th position. Oh, catch it! Kill the cones while you're at it if you need to. Colin Colin Dunn kicking up a bit of dust, coming through Redgate and through Hollywood. And now the crane of curves, the BMW shaping up McRae Williams for 6th position. Doesn't look like Jack Dan is done with Alex Rhodes either. That's for the last podium spot. Renault driver of Jack Dan wanting to reclaim that 3rd spot from Alex Rhodes. BMWs. Again, that's the characteristics of the rear-wheel drive guy. You stomp it and the tail wants to dance. 3 distinct battles going on here. Battle for 3rd, battle for 6th. With actually McRae's ahead of Colin Dunn now. And battle for 8th with Cherrington and Chris Callahan. There's another driver getting the blue flag treatment. That's Mark Holmes. There he is. Alex continues his masterclass. Oh, Nick Bailey is starting to encroach on this battle for 3rd. See the triangular symbols next to the names. That's a proximity warning. That's telling me who is getting close to who. Within about a second or so before that symbol appears. As that's Colin Dunn running too wide at the old hairpin. Callahan on the back of Cherrington. Similar lap times between the two. It does look like Jack Dan is beginning to close in on Alex Rhodes. And there, not too far ahead of them, is Jay Daniels for 2nd. Either Alex Rhodes is trying to get rid of a slowdown warning, or he braked too early because suddenly with Jack Dan having an argument for 3rd. Nick Holmes right behind them. Nick Bailey, beg your pardon, I'm muddling up surnames. 3-way battle now going on as Cherrington has caught the back of Colin Dunn. That's 7th. Fantastic stuff there. There's 3 of them. Just behind them is Toby Owen. Going to focus mainly on this battle for 3rd. One of our 2 feature drivers, Alex Rhodes. Mark Holmes is a long way in the middle of nowhere, unfortunately. That's not Garside directly behind. Jack Dan continues to pressure Alex Rhodes. Nick Bailey's not far behind, although he's made a mistake. Nick Bailey's just made a mistake at Coppice. McLean's breaking up. He's going to be in trouble because he's going to be caught by Dunn, Cherrington and Callahan's made a bit of a mistake as well. He's fallen a little bit off the back of the Orange Beaver. There ahead is McRae Williams. They closed in a bit but not enough to challenge Nick for 5th position, but McRae's got rear view mirror full of BMW at the moment. Steady. They come through the fog to yes once again. There is Nick Bailey. He's got himself at 1 point. Oh, beg your pardon, much more than that. About 4-5 seconds now between himself and Jack Dan. Oh, someone made a mistake. Ew. Not quite. There's Colin Dunn gets very sideways through Redgate. Down the hill through Hollywood, through the old, coming towards the old hairpin. Colin, keep that tail under control. And Alex has made a mistake. Oh no, he hasn't. He's just had a bad run through the old hairpin. Side by side for him and Jack Dan. Oh, lovely sideways move from Alex Rhodes as Simon Williams is in the pits. Oh, that is, when you get that slide right, it is just poetry. But that has given Jack Dan 3rd position. Nick Bailey's a little bit too far back. Challenge at the moment. 3-way battle for 6th position. McRae Williams, Colin Dunn and Matt Cherrington on the Starkey straight heading toward the front of the DSs once again. In the brakes, that Renault's getting twitchy. Oh, Colin's gone too deep on the exit though. Whoa, nearly collects Matt Cherrington. But Matt through to 7th. Callahan's not far behind them either. Chris Callahan has just gone past Toby Owen as well for 9th position. As Gary Cooper and Mark Holmes both add to the penalty score. We'll check in with the penalties in a minute. Alex Rhodes still on the back of Jack Daniels. He's checking the penalties now. 1 for Jay Daniels, 2 for Nick Bailey, 3 for McRae Williams. There was another one that's disappeared, and another one that's disappeared. 2 for Toby Owen, 1 for Adam Davies and Simon Williams. 6 now for Gary Cooper. 2 for Mark Holmes and 1 for David Garside. My voice is dying, but what a way for it to go. With this incredible racing, we only have less than 2 minutes left of this race. A lovely slide as we're on board with Colin Dunn. Toby Owen on the back of Chris Callahan, argument for 9th position. Once again, difficult for me to know which battle to keep up with. He's already ahead of Jack Dan. Who did we just see? I'm not 100% sure who that is. Is that David Garside? It is Garside. That's Jay Daniels ahead of him, so that's David Garside being lapped. And then he's got 3rd and 4th chasing him down. Oh, Colin Dunn and Matt Charrington side by side. Charrington challenging Dunn, and Charrington's through. Nice effort there at the orange BMW. That's the 7th. Right behind them is Toby Owen and Chris Callahan. So that's now a 4-way argument for 7th position as McRae Williams has managed to break free of this particular squabble. Oh no, that went horribly wrong for Callahan, who ended up punching Colin Dunn in the face. Oh, that was a shame. That was one mistake from Callahan. He went in too deep and sadly collected Colin Dunn, but there's still fighting to be had. 20 seconds still. The checkered flag falls. Where is Alex Jameson? Coming through the old hairpin sideways. Here's where he is. So this will be the final lap here at Donington Park. Unsportsmanlike conduct. But Toby Owen? Oh dear, oh dear. That's another time penalty, basically. The only people that don't have time penalties are Alex Jameson, Jack Dan, Matt Charrington. In fact, it's just those 3. Do not have time penalties. But that just goes to show how hard these drivers are pushing and how difficult it is not to fall off the road. Donington is bumpy and it's a very challenging circuit. But it's 3 for 3 for Alex Jameson. Fastest lap, all 3 occasions for the yellow BMW. Jay Daniels with a face full of what I believe is, it's not David Garside, it must be Mark. No, I'm not sure who that is, already ahead of Jay, but Jay Daniels is going to take 2nd position. Oh, that's not. No, that must be Simon Williams then. It is. Jack Dan comes over the line in 3rd position. Alex Rhodes 4th. That's David Garside directly behind him. Nick Bailey 5th. And McRae Williams 6th. Matt Charrington 7th. Gets promoted up to 6th with the penalties. Then it is Toby Owen. Chris Callahan. Here comes Colin Dunn. Adam Davies in 11th. And a lapsed and wounded Gary Cooper. Waiting for someone. Oh no, we're not. We are done. Goodness me. So there it is. Confirmation once again. Alex Jameson asserting his domination onto this series. Jay Daniels 2nd. Jack Dan in 3rd. Alex Rhodes 4th. Nick Bailey in 5th position. Matt Charrington 6th. McRae Williams 7th. Toby Owen 8th. Chris Callahan 9. Rounding out the top 10 is Colin Dunn. Then Adam Davies 11. Gary Cooper in 12th. Simon Williams 13. Mark Holmes 14. And David Garside 15th. And that is tonight's festivities done and dusted. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me throughout this entire event. It has been a great honour and pleasure to be with you. Right then, let us see where we are next time. It is Hockenheim. It's Hockenheim National, so it's slightly shorter than the Grand Prix version. Next week, so do join us for them. We'll have 2 different featured drivers And we will no doubt have some amazing races. And there will be some more drivers joining us next time that were unable to make it this time. Some names familiar to those that had seen the Interclub Championship. But for those that do want to get involved, there are still positions available. Head over to Facebook, find the Virtual Touring Car Club page, the VTCC page, and make your intentions known. And you will be contacted in due course. Until then, thank you very much. And I hope to see you back for the next round. Until then, thank you very much and good night.